Oh wow. I hope there's someone out there who is wanting to go into agriculture who heard that and who's actually inspired by that, because personally I am inspired. Okay, so there are a few questions from the chat box. Michelle says, how did you start the business yourself being a student?
Thank you for that question, Michelle. Yeah, it was quite a tough choice because I was looking at I'll be having examinations soon. Um, yeah, some very important ones as well, which can determine the course that I would want to do at university. But like I said, there are some things which I think, okay, the thing is, I believe that God has created us as gifts in the environments that we are in. And sometimes we tend to delay that gift from manifesting because we're trying to focus on another thing. But God, by the reason that He has given us that gift, it also means He has given us the capacity to do all things through Him, like it is said in Philippians 4. We have the strength, well, powered by Jesus Christ to be able to do all these things. So I think when I had such a conviction, after some months I had been thinking about this idea. I finally, with the help of my parents, obviously, I finally got to be able to start out, but as well making sure that I balance between my academics and also this business side. So um, sometimes I do try to keep it on the low so that I boost in my academics, but I always try to make sure that there is a balance, which might not always be easy, which is actually not always easy. Yeah. But then it's a price to pay for studying such a thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Tina, there's a question also coming from Gladman that says, do you operate in Goku South area?
No, so far not yet. I think the regions we've operated in so far are Mutare and Harare. Harare, these are mostly customers who inquire and then we ordered the deliveries of their products, but mainly we are based in Mutare so far.
Okay, there's also another question coming from Rai. He says, where did you get the capital from the startup? This one is very interesting.
Okay, so AgriUp, initially, I really wanted it to be a company which is tech-based. So I really didn't want it to be capital intensive at the start. So for my first products, which I was selling, I actually got them on credit. So I was selling apples and then packaging them. So I got apples from Nyanga on credit. Just, I think, my first two packets. And I sold them during one weekend. Um, and then after, from the money, the revenue that I got, I paid back for those packets, and then the profit allowed me to get a packet, this time not on credit. So that's how I started building up. But then the other services, such as marketing, um, I was just basically using social media and my phone, which I already had. So I really didn't need to invest anything else with regards to marketing. Then for distribution, my parents were supporting me. When I got orders, my parents would offer their car for nearby orders from where we live in Mutare. They would offer their car for me to do the deliveries. Then for Harare deliveries, my dad would also deliver them as it goes to Harare. Yeah.
Okay, you did say that you are a passionate environmentalist, right? So there's a question from Gladman which says, are you using recycled material for packaging? And there's also another one from Telma which says, what packaging material are you talking about? And give the examples of vegetables.
Okay, so for the first question on which type, whether I'm using recyclable material, currently I wasn't. I was just using plastics, which I have been buying from a local plastic company, which is based here in Italy. And then what was the second question again?
It was, what packaging material are you talking about, which you've already answered by saying that you're using plastic, right? And then he
Oh,
was asking, what are some of the examples of the vegetables?
okay, so for vegetables, which we have currently been dealing with, we have yokovo, tsunga, um, eggplants as well, and our fruit, and then also apples as well. So those are like the main vegetables and fruits which we have been able to distribute so far.
Okay. 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 This is very beautiful. This is very inspiring. Okay, there's also another question, which is probably the second last one from Tepu and Ashikambara. He's asking, which steps did you take to determine the product market fit the PMF?
The what?
Product market fit.
Okay. So in coming up with the our product market, right? It was through interactions with people. So one thing that helped us to take off in our Apple business was people were from the interactions that I was having, people were generally complaining about the kind of fruits that were coming from other regions, maybe such as South Africa. Some of the products as well went up to standard, and also the other thing was cost, because if you look at apples coming from South Africa, they also in their pricing, they also have to include transport costs. But if I'm getting the same apples from Nyanga, which is about 100 kilometers from where I am, obviously our pricing models are different. And from there, I was able to price way below the other products from South Africa, and also provide it to the our customers as fresh as they are. So you could get something which you could get apples which could have been collected yesterday, and then when you bring them today to the market, they are still fresh, right? So I think that's one thing which helped us to um, penetrate in Mutare. And also the fact that initially, like I said, I started out on a with a single food store, right? From there as well, the position of that food store, it's a place where there is high traffic. So, because it leads to a place called Chicago, right, near Mutare. So, as people were moving every day, I got to interact with most of them, and because of that, you would have returning customers. So it's something which I think those are the main two things which I used in making sure that we're able to get into the market in a good way. I think you're now muted. I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not see that.
Sure.
Saying, I was saying, I'm taking two last questions, right? The first one is your business registered? And the second one is the how does COVID-19 affect your business?
Okay. So yes, Agrib Africa is registered. The company is registered. And then the second thing about COVID-19, the funny thing is this business was actually birthed in COVID-19. So already from our operations, we're operating according to the environment that was already set. So that's why we were incorporating much of the technology systems which are at our disposal. So be it your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Twitter, from there advertising products and getting inquiries from there as well. But I think one area which it has kind of affected me is I haven't been able to reach out to as much farmers as I intended to, because sometimes doing it over the phone, it might not give a farmer as much confidence as being there in person. So that's an area which I think as lockdown actually is as lockdown comes to an end, hopefully we'll be able to interact with more farmers and um, yeah, make bring the business to greater markets now.
So I wanted to take the previous questions as the last two, but there's another one that is actually very intriguing, and I think it's very crucial that we address it right now. So the question is, do you ever face self-doubt? And if you do, how do you deal with it?
That's a great question. Yes, I do face self-doubt. I think there was a period when I think when we had actually started Red, and then I was also having to do school. So some moments, some opportunities which arose maybe whereby I think my mom would be going to an area which I know has farmers for certain products which I'd be interested in. Sometimes they have to miss such trips and having to stay home and do school, right? Online lessons. And from those experiences, sometimes I just ask myself, is this thing worth it? Is this thing even going to be possible with all the other commitments such as school which you have? Um, but then yeah, we continue moving and opportunities do come again, and we always have to make sure that when they do come again, we make the best use of them. So yeah, self-doubt is something that really got to me, but I always encourage myself with stories about other entrepreneurs as well, whom I admire so much. Like even Dr. Masiwa himself, if you look at his story of how he started Econet, even before Econet was actually formed, um, the experiences as well, self-doubt can actually kick in and can cause you to throw away your dreams. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, know that when self-doubt comes, there is a high chance that um, the devil is just trying to cause you to throw away that dream, whilst it's that next big thing. So yeah.
Wow. Oh, I am inspired. And so a lot of people in the chat box, as you can see, the chat box is really lively. But then there's also something that the people are dying to have from you. The people are dying for your contact info. Could you please give the people your contact info? People want to talk to you.
Okay, so I think I'll also share my number in the chatbot, but for so not chatbot, chat box, sorry. But it's 0786 303 048. So it's 0786 303 048. If you'd also want to contact via email, our email is agriabafricazw@gmail.com. Yeah, or in small caps, agriabafricazw@gmail.com. Yeah, so let me just post the details on the chat box.